everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on the Dime. I'm not in Texas, I'm in New Hampshire, specifically at Zorvino Winery. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, this is Stuart with Wine on the Dime. Today I'm at Zorvino Winery in New Hampshire. I'm on a little trip, decided to kind of go on a little vacation with the wife and have some wine while I'm at it. So I'm gonna do something I normally don't do. Normally I kind of have the bottle of wine and I review the wine. I did the full tasting pretty much, well not a full tasting, I have like 30 different wines here, but I did a large number of these wines right here. I'm going to talk about some of the highlights that I had and then some of the unique ones, and I'm just going to use my notes because I don't have any room in my luggage with all my camera equipment to bring anything back. I need to plan ahead better. Alright, so the first one I tried was their Skinny Guinea White. It is a really actually nice white blend. It has a nice lemon lime element to it. I'm using my notes here because I took a lot of tasting notes. Has a lot of green apple, and it has a long finish for a white blend, like a long finish, probably minute and a half finish on this wine. It's a full-bodied wine, had a dark lemon color, medium acid, and it was dry. It was overall a very enjoyable wine. It was actually one of my wife's favorite. Another nice white wine they had was their Gewurztramine. Had a pale lemon color, had a lot of apple floral notes. It was a very spicy Gewurztramine, which I really love. And it also had like nice little orange kind of element that popped up in the finish. It had medium plus acid, medium body, it was off dry. Overall, very nice. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about the two red wines that I enjoyed and my wife enjoyed. So the first one that I really enjoyed was the Marquette. So 2016, it's a hybrid grape from the University of Minnesota. It does really well out here in the cold weather. From a nose standpoint, the Marquette had a really nice red plum, black cherry element to it. It had a nice dark ruby color, and it had this kind of smell that I had a really hard time picking up, and I didn't get it until a taste, and then it all made sense. So I'll get to the tasting notes. The tasting notes, all that stuff, red plum, black cherry, very nice. The black cherry just felt like it was perfectly ripe, wasn't overripe, wasn't sour, anything like that, because I'm really sensitive about sour cherry. The thing that I really liked about it is it had a black tea note in the finish, and it really kind of brought an earthiness to this dark berry wine that is just very fruit heavy, but then all of a sudden that earthiness kind of reigns in. It's in medium minus body, medium plus on the acid, I'll say medium to long finish, medium plus finish, if that's really a thing. I can't remember off the top of my head. But overall, I thought that was probably my favorite red that I tried while I was here. All right, so now time for my wife's favorite, which was their Merlot. Their Merlot was not only aged in oak barrels, but also was oaked in terms of adding chips to it. It was toasted Kentucky wood, and it had a medium ruby color, but the thing I liked about it is a really nice cinnamon note. Really nice cinnamon, black cherry on the nose, and then in the taste, it had a really kind of unique minerality to it. I was getting, it wasn't like a chalkiness, but it was almost like a quartz, and there was a salinity to it. I really enjoyed that. It had a tart blackberry, it had a lot of black cherry, like I said, the cinnamon, medium tannins, and medium plus on the acid with a medium to long finish. We both enjoyed that one. I just liked the slightly lighter version of the Marquette. And then there's a wasp. All right, so now I'm gonna talk about 2 wines that are kind of unique that I've never seen anywhere. So one is called Maples. It's maple with a Z for Zorvino. Anyway, I thought that was very good. And the reason why is because it's actually, it's the oaked, instead of being oaked, it's mapled. It's like they added maple to it, but it's not a sweet wine. You get this really nice kind of off dry wine. It's lemon, you get green apple, you get all these nice elements. And then in the finish, you get this maple item. And it's just maple and it's great. And the only thing I was thinking about this entire time was how well this would pair with a spicy chicken and waffles dish. Oh my God, being from the South, pair this New Hampshire wine with a Southern dish and it would be phenomenal. All right, so the last wine that I'm gonna talk about here is I'm gonna talk about the Jumping Jack. It is a pumpkin wine and not pumpkin spice wine. They hand peeled and hand gutted 2,000 pounds of pumpkins over 14 days and literally used pumpkin like meat in this wine. And it was, well, it wasn't my wife's favorite, but I did enjoy it a lot myself. And the reason why is because it basically is like drinking a pumpkin pie. You have the baking spices, you have the pumpkin, there's nice gingers, kind of a graham cracker note that popped up on it. I really liked that. I could see this working really well as like making a mini ice cream float out of it using some vanilla ice cream. And just doing that, because it is a fortified wine, so it's higher in ABV, it's about 20% ABV. So you don't want a glass of it, though if you drank it like that, it could be pretty dangerous. I don't recommend doing that. But I do recommend using it maybe with some vanilla ice cream and having it from that perspective. All right, so one other thing I wanted to mention about Zorvino is that almost all of their wines are wine on the dime price appropriate. That's right, you can go to a vineyard and you can actually get wines, a lot of different wines, for under $15. So I highly recommend you stopping by because not only are these grounds gorgeous, which you'll learn about in a second, but also, I mean, it's just, you can get good priced wine here. And these are good wines. They have good wines. Stop by, go by a Zorvino.
So technically it's my trip to New Hampshire. Yeah. He's along for the ride. Yeah. But we had a great wine tasting here. But the fun part for me was hearing about the building because I'm kind of obsessed with getting our own property someday and doing this kind of thing.
Just a little
bit.
Obsessed.
And this has a really cool story behind it. The owner, Jim. Yeah. Jim, I'm bad with names. Bought 80 acres here in New Hampshire at retirement for a man cave. And so he milled the wood from this property and built that building back there. The downstairs was his wood shop, and it's gorgeous. And then upstairs was meant to be his antique car garage.
I think he had, what was it, 7 cars? 8,
yeah, 7 cars.
7, 9, somewhere around
And he
there.
literally bought this place. He had 100 vines to start, to make wine for himself, work his wood shop, and have cars. And now they have an amazing events venue. They do 80 to 100 events per year. They bottle 7,000 cases of wine. Not everything's grown here, but it's made here. And then we're about to walk the grounds and get a big view of what's going on, but it's massive and gorgeous, and they have
huge.
bocce ball, and they have just fun, cool stuff. And so it gives me hope, because this is gonna happen.
It will.
Someday.
It will. It will.
Yeah.
Wine on the dime, straight from the winery. One day.
Did you just wink at the camera?
I did.
Oh, God. Sorry.
All right.
Yeah. Is it going?
It's going.
Oh, hi. 3, 2, 1.